Okay, so these are the tools that I use. This is to pop the plastic clips. This is a 10mm socket, and then a T15 bit. So the first step is to remove the lever, just because it's going to be in the way when you go to remove this plastic piece. But it's real simple. It's just two T15s right there. And then once you take these two out, this will slide out this way. Okay, so like I said, just take those two T15s out. It's just gonna slide right off. And then next, all you need to do is go around this whole plastic piece right here. And there is just 10 total of the plastic push pins. You can just see them, I already have them popped just so you can kind of see where they're at. They're pretty simple to use, especially if you have one of those plastic pop things, but even a flathead screwdriver will work. But once you have all 10 of those out, this piece just pops right up. I'll show you next. And then just a little note, you could kind of leave them half popped. They just need to be able to clear the bottom part so that way you can pull them out. That way you don't lose them or forget how they go in, but you could leave them kind of put together. Okay, so once you get all 10 of the push pins out and you have the lever removed as well right there, it just pops right up. It comes right out. So once you have that out, it's pretty easy access. Okay, so the next step, you just have 4 10mm bolts that need to come out. And then once you have those 4 out, that is the last of screws or bolts that you'll have to remove to get the bumper off. But you have one kind of every, probably roughly a foot apart. There's one right there, one right there, one right there, and then one right there as well. And then once you got those 4 out, the rest is just metal clips. Okay, so now we're gonna take the grill off. The rest of it's just metal clips throughout this, the whole grill. There's a few kind of all over. They're kind of more towards the corners and center, but I'll show you these 2 sections and then I'll show you how to get the rest of them. So right here, you're just gonna wanna reach right behind here, and then you kind of pop it out, but you just go right back here, come in and pull. And you hear that pop, and that whole part's loose now. Behind there, there's clips. And then what you want to do is the same thing on this side. I already have it popped. There's just, I think there's 2 actually behind here, 2 little clips that hold this section. So once those are popped, the rest of them are just in the main grill area. You have one roughly at the bottom there, one in the middle here. There's one right here roughly. One right behind the bow tie, you kind of see it. There's another one at the bottom. Same thing on this side, one at the bottom, one behind the emblem, and one roughly right there. Okay, so start over here. This one's already popped at the top, like that. Got that one. Come right here. Once that, and should be another one on this side. There you go. So that's kind of loose. Show you. So one thing I actually just learned from this video is right here, these little slots. So when you have this part still on top of here, just lift these up and pull out. They just kind of sit in there as placeholders. It looks like there's just one on each side, but like I said, you just kind of pull this section up and pull out, and it should unlock from there. But let's see, you can see it's kind of free from the back, and then the only thing are the bottom tabs that are still holding it, so I'll show you how to get those. You just keep pulling and it should come off. Okay, so the last clip wanted to be a pain in the butt, but it's right down here. There's a clip here on the back, one right there. And you kind of see that one right there, that one down there, and then same thing on the other side. There's one at the top, one at the bottom. They all just clip into the grill. There's no screws or nothing, so it's pretty simple. So this line right here is a push tab. It goes right back in place. think it's right about here somewhere. Right there. But this pipe's, it's a lot easier just to take it off. As you can see, there's this, it just pops right out like that. So you pop that out, and then all the way to the bow tie in the center there, it runs. But what you're gonna do is you just kind of, there's little hooks on the back, you just kind of push it and they pop right out. There's one every few inches, as you can see. You just kind of pull it, pop those all the way down to the back here, and then this part right here is where it leads to. You can see down there, and there's a little lever right there. You just pull it back and this will come out. So once you have this all the way off, you can just kind of let this hang. This whole thing will come off all the way to there. Just let it hang. You can have the whole grill off. That's all you need from this side. Now from the left side, let me adjust this so the grill doesn't fall. Okay, so now from the left side, there's just two plugs. So right here, there's this little kind of, I guess it holds the extra cords. It's a little bracket right there. It pulls right out with a plastic thing, especially it pulls out real easy with a plastic popper. Okay, grab that real quick. 1 second. Okay, so right here, this little plastic one. There you go. So I pulled this out, just out of that hole right there. It goes right in right there. Okay, so all you'd have left are these two plugs. This one, I believe there's a red thing on it. Push it in. Kind of a pain in the butt to get out, but get that one out just by pushing in this little lever right here. Push it down and pull up. And then just that other one, pull that red tab upwards, and then you just push in another tab right behind it, and it just pulls right out. So you're gonna push this red tab upwards, and then you push this down back here, this little lever, and then pull out. So now, with those, the grill's actually completely off. I just have my wire running for my lights because I already ran it. But I kind of just snuck it along the back side here to the left side, and then you run it out through the left, right through this gap, up through the headlight behind it, and then you could kind of, it's the best way to get to the fuse box and where you're gonna connect the negative, which is right there. So there's the negative, and then leading to the fuse. I believe I actually have my wires switched, but it still works. It doesn't really matter which color you use, I guess. So, okay, so now you'd have the grill out. I have mine still hanging because I don't want to take it all the way off just because I have the lights hooked up. But once you have it off, it really does just pop out. Like I said, it's got the wire connected still for the lights, so I don't want to remove it. But once you have the wires and plugs, you can kind of just zip tie them to the wires that were originally there. And any of these slots through here and in the same triangular shape will work. You can put the lights wherever you want. Just make sure you have enough wire that you can reach the fuse box. But once you have them all in, run your wiring, zip tie it however you want. You can see I have the two screws. It's pushed in, and then right behind, I just put a little bead of hot glue just as like a backup plan. It shouldn't come out, but like I said, I mean, they're just pressure fitted, so you never know what can happen. But once you got all the lights ran, you kind of, like I said, do your wire management. And then I run the wire off to the left. That's the wire right there that's still kind of pulling towards the car. And then I ran it through the headlight right behind there, and then just up through that crack, straight to the fuse box, and then that's your negative right back there that I use, or the ground, sorry. But the ground's right there, and then the fuse box, obviously you run the red into. I think I actually have the wires flipped. I don't know if I said that already. I don't think it really matters though which wire you use, but I think the blacks are supposed to go into the box, but it all still works and no cuts or nothing, so it's good enough for me. But right down here, I'll show you how one of these go in. But the easiest way is to have them in, put your screws in, and make sure it's pushed tight. Okay, so once you got that, you're gonna go to the opening. We use this one. And then what you wanna kinda do is push it in evenly. You don't want like one side to kind of be in. So you're just gonna go through here. Let's see if I can get that. Of course it kind of went out of frame, but so it's kind of pressure fitted all the way through. You just kind of push it in. It's kind of rough. You gotta play with it, but if you put it in kind of evenly when you're pushing down, you'll kind of get it to click in, and you'll know it's in once it's in, but it won't go anywhere. Like I said, I just put that little piece of bead of hot glue behind it, but you don't need to. As you can see, I'm pulling pretty hard, and this one won't go anywhere, so it's completely up to you what you want to do. Any hole, like I said, run your wiring. Run the wire through there, up to your fuse box, and then I'll show you how to wire it. You do want to make sure, like I said, run the wire through the left side. I kind of snuck it up through this big opening behind the headlight, but you run the wire through there. It comes up, so you're going to put your negative and wrap it around that right there. I believe it's a 13 millimeter to loosen it, but you just feed the wire underneath and then clamp it down. And then that's the wire right there, obviously. Once you do that, you're gonna wanna open your fuse box. And then, so there's two fuses I kinda use. The one for sure, if you wanna keep them always on, daytime or nighttime, they're always on once the car's on. You're gonna wanna go with fuse 46, which is right here. Kinda show you a better angle, but fuse 46 is this one right there. Like I said, fuse 46. And then if you want it to turn on only at nighttime, I believe it was fuse 55. Which fuse 55 would be that one right there. But like I said, if you want it on only at night, fuse 55. And if you want it on all the time, you're gonna use fuse 46, which is right there. Okay, so once you have your fuse tap all set up, you're gonna put the spare fuse in. So there's two slots. You put the spare one in that was included, and then you're gonna wanna pull the fuse out that was in that spot. I already have it kind of pre-pulled, but you can use tweezers or something. And then when you take it out, what you wanna do is put it in the other slot. So you want two 10 amp fuses. Put it in real quick. So I got 10 of the two 10s, and then once you have both those in, you kind of just put it right back in the slot where you pulled it out from, and just push it down, and then it's kind of in there. You're good to go. How I run mine is I fed it right between these two, and then just kind of fed it out the back. I cut a little notch in there just so the wire could run out the back when you close it. If not, the lid kind of gets caught up, so find somewhere you want to make a little notch so that way nothing gets caught. But once you got that wired there and wired there, you could go ahead and turn the car on just to make sure everything works. Like I said, this spot's going to leave them on at all times, and then that fuse right in the back will do only at nighttime. Okay, I'd assume that I don't really need to show you how to put everything back. You just kind of do everything but in reverse. But once you get this all back, you just put that in. Just kind of pushes in and clips. See if I can get it to work, of course. I guess it's clipped. Okay, so that's in, it's clipped. You just run it all the way back to where it comes from. Push it under those clips all the way back. Okay, so like I said, just run it back under those clips. And then it's a lot harder with one hand. And then just the last one down there. Just like that. And then You're just gonna push that back in, and you are all good to go on this side. And then back over here, same thing like I showed you. Just push clip right back into there, and then you're just gonna hook up these two plugs. And then once that's kind of there, you kind of just push the grill back into place, but I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you can figure this part out on how to put it back together, but I thought I'd just show you. The grill's still loose, so you just kind of loose. What you want to do is kind of get it back into place. You'll kind of see where it lines up with the holes up top. But just push the top in. They clip up here in these two parts, so you kind of feel it go in. And then you just kind of go around, make sure they're all lined up, and just push them back in place. Just right there. There you go. Okay, that's good. And then I'll show you up here. So this one, you can kind of see the clips behind. Not really, I guess. Let me see if I can get. You can see where the clips go if you look with your eyes behind there, but these are pretty easy too. You just kind of push them in. You just want to make sure they line up. They're pretty easy clips. Push in. That's good. And the same thing with this side again. Line up, push in. Super easy. And then obviously, like I said, you just kind of rinse and repeat of the steps that take everything off. But just put the 10 mils in again. And then that plastic piece, you're gonna put all your plastic push pins, and then you just slide your lever back on. Okay, so you just put those 10 millimeters back in, just the 4 of them. And then once you have all 4 of those back in, you can just slip that plastic piece back on. So you grab your plastic piece, and then this kind of just slips right back in. There's no way to really do it. Just make sure that's clear. Just falls right back in place. And then you're just gonna put all the plastic push pins back. Okay, and then once you have all the plastic push pins back in, you just put the lever back, which is just as simple as it came off. Slide it over. Put the 2 T15s back in. Grab that. And you are all set. Okay, I'm good. Let's start her up. And there's the lights. And everything works.